Hello, anybody, somebody, nobody, whoever never hear this. This is Siegfried Alexander Faust, the Whiff. Come back at you with some more Warhammer 40k. I've been gone for a while because I started a new job recently. It's been keeping me busy. There's good times and bad times, and I've also been sick and trying to look out a bit more for my health and taking care of my dog and good times with neighbors. So I have not been very active. Now, with the Armor of Contempt change that came out, along with the Knights souping and now upcoming Chaos Marine changes, along with the overall chapter approved that's going to be coming out, which may cut CP in half. In half. Ugh. I have had to go through and reevaluate some armies, but I have still made good progress. I'll be making individual videos for these changed armies and new armies that I'll be showcasing, but I thought I'd just give a brief overview right now to show that I haven't just been doing nothing. Here they are. So I, of course, still have the many. Oh, and there also will be Tyrannid point changes. So I'm going to be changing my Gene Stealer cult because one that I showcased originally was Tyrannids, Gene Stealers, and Imperial Guard, but that's just too expensive now. And even more so with the Tyrannid changes. So likely I'm going to be cutting out all the Imperial Guard. We will see though. We will see. So as it stand, I mean, cutting out all the Tyranids, just keeping the Imperial Guard and the Gene Stealers, and making some changes there. And I'll have to change my Tyranid list, but until the changes hit, this is an Iron Hands detachment, uh, with two 10-man Devastators and a regular thing, and it's got drop pods as well, and two Fire Raptor gunships. And not all of these are correctly yellow scribed, as yellow scribe usually does. So almost half, for all these things, half their weapons are missing. So the Fire Raptor gunships are much more scary because they have two quad heavy bolters and two twin las cannons. So this is a very aggressive, in your face, Devastator bonuses faction with reroll hits of 1 and reroll wounds of 1 and enhanced chances of hits, extra AP up the wazoo. Can really easily deal with Armor of Contempt. Um, very, very spooky. I had Punishers and Flamers on my Leman Russes, my Leman Russ tank spam, but something that really upsets me is that it can trade well against anything that's T4 and doesn't get like Quins or things that save on a 3 to 4 up. But with all the things now saving on a 2 up, and God forbid you have to trade up with it, and it's got no AP, and yeah, it's the Hammer of the Emperor, but I think it just doesn't justify the fact that Demolishers will still, on average, do the same or more, and furthermore, they're actually cheaper than Punishers. So I just get that along with Heavy Bolters, because why not? It's just, I feel like it is better. I don't think it's as fun, but points, it's more efficient, so try that out. It is definitely spooky, just spooky, spooky, spooky. Uh, Thousand Suns. So with the point changes, I had to remove all these bloody dreadnoughts. I love them, but you gotta respect the tankiness, which is the Scarab Occult Terminators. The fact that if they get hit with anything that is a strength 1, sorry, a damage 1, God forbid, you could have 1 or 2 AP, and it doesn't matter. Hell, it takes 3 AP now, which is ridiculous. 3 AP for them to still have a 2-up save, because they'll have light cover if you put them on it. They'll have Armor of Contempt to reduce it, so now it's -1, and then they get an extra +1 to their save against 1 damage weapons. So shurikens, that's basically just going to equivalent to only shurikens. Nothing else really has that profile. That'd be weird. But yeah, if which is not even meta. So it's just funny that it's someone did the anti-meta, just shuriken spam Eldar. Bad day against Termies. And yeah, I like this setup because it still has most of the core stuff I like. It's got a lot of psychic, and the fact that all their weapons get the no, that's a bad example. The regular Terminators, all their Inferno type weapons get an extra chunk of AP -2. against the factions that don't get Armor of Contempt, it's quite good. And they're just even tankier now because of Armor of Contempt. It's just, I think this is a better setup. While I do love my boy, the Chaos Leviathan Dreadnought, and it comes with a 2-up save with Armor of Contempt now, it's still T7, so it has to deal with Melta wounding on 2s, and then it's going to be saving on 5s, I think. I don't think they have a. Yeah, so it's a regular 5 of Binvol. But Terminators, what? They're saving on 4-ups? So that's just loony good. Um, yeah. I just feel like this is better right now versus the Leviathan Dreadnought spam, especially on how uh there's a lot of stuff that can be more anti-vehicle or anti-elite. Necrons. So they have changed once again. Some stuff is similar. I cut out a Scarab Swarm and threw in some more Scorpex. So there's 3 5-man units of Scorpex. I took out there's no Doomsday Arc and Doom. Not is it Flare? I can't remember the big spooky eye thing. And I threw in 2 other Plasmancers. I think this should overall be better because they should be safe until round 3 to 4 and just pumping out mortals. Um, I still think Necrons need love. I think this is gonna. I haven't tried this. I haven't tried any of these except for my Iron Hands yet. I believe. No, I tried the Demolisher one. Uh, yeah. I think this is the way to go right now. But there's gonna be what squats, Chaos Marines, demons, and then possibly World Eaters Codex, and then Space Marines slash Necrons coming back from the start of ninth. But that'd be going to 10th edition, which who knows? It feels like ninth edition is just whizzed by. I'd rather they not get full on new codexes, but the Necrons really feel like they need it. Um, or just an insurmountable amount of changes. Uh, the Grey Knights almost stayed perfectly the same. I just had to switch out Terminator's melee. I haven't fixed it here because some of them have falchions for some reason. I think. Oh no, I used the same. I didn't get the right model. Yeah. But they're supposed to have swords. Yeah, so I need to change out the model. That's weird. Huh. Because armor of contempt. So that's what's gonna be needed. You need that extra AP to get damage in. Unfortunately. Everything else in the list is basically the same. Oh my god, the demons. I can't wait to try this out. It's just a headache with all the changes. The Bellicor Chaos Undivided Demon with the Knight Abominant. This thing is a beast. Especially with the Bellicor, it can get so tanky. If something that peeved me was the fact that for Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights, you can't have Warlord traits, relics, and some of their other rules are removed and or even nerfed. You have to go Free Blade Dreadblade. It's very unfortunate if you just run a single Titanic model as a auxiliary. But I think it's the best option. Most of them aren't getting a knight. I tried to look at it, tried to justify it, but most cases, especially now with the where are you backwards? With the upcoming CP reduction, it's just you're hard pressed to bring it. Bring it for fun, for flavor, but it's just not going to be as good, I feel like, as your other options, especially with the CP reduction, which is unfortunate. It's like, here, you can do this. It's like adding core to Necron units that will not benefit from core or just don't matter. It's like, here's core. Oh, you could bring this, but you're going to, like, handicap yourself by doing it. Well, it's like, what the yeah, this list stayed the same. I actually took out the bloated float drones because I feel like the Blight Haulers bring a bit more to the table. They're actually cheaper by 5 points. They have decent range options because they have meltas and missiles, and they're actually a bit tankier in melee because they have -1 to hit. And with all that, I was able to afford some Death Shrouds, Demon Prince, and a cheeky little Chaos Spawn just to burn off the rest bit of points. Hopefully, can use it to score or distract somebody, force them to shoot somewhere. I always get very annoyed when I ran Imperial Guard Manticores and have to shoot my missiles at like a single drone back in the day because it's just such a waste. But your opponent's gonna just make free points over and over and over if you don't shrug them from stuff, free primaries and secondaries. The sisters. So I've been back and forth talking with the sisters player friend of mine. About bringing them with Rhino, no Rhino, a Knight, etc. Bringing God, what are they? Retributors. I do like getting all the extra dice, miracle dice, but you really have to go all into booty rows, and some things are still iffy to get the bonuses. I think Paragons you're still able to be worth as long as you protect them from like Alpha Strike, if possible, so you can get good use out of them. You're gonna have to make the point sync to put into reserves the penitent engines, so that way when they come out, they can do the 48 flamer shots uh, of nastiness. I think are muy excelente. I still think that's worth. It's a heavy CP sink, but them with buzzblades in your opponent's back line, they have to deal with them, or they're just gonna chop up whatever is in front of them. And you still get a Calidus Assassin as well. And it's got a ton of Retributors and thing on Dominion, so that way you can get a lot of Melta and get the Mortal Wound from the Dominion's Hurricanes. The Artifice Hurricanes? What's it called? Something cool. Artificer Crafted. Yeah, it's like very unique. And then the Seraphim, so you can deep strike them. There's only 5 here instead of 6. 6 would guarantee R&D if you take the secondary with them. If they don't get shot off. 5, you would fail R&D on a 6. But, it's, points issues. And the Battle Sanctum, which you could stick a Battle Sister on and just get more CP. I think IRL tabletop, this is harder to bring, at least in a very anal retentive match. Uh, Depending on how terrain is placed, your opponent could be a dick. Which then, if you don't bring the Battle Sanctum, oh, it's funny when I flip it. If you don't bring the Battle Sanctum, then for the points, then you really could bring like 2 Retributors squads, not Retributors. God damn it. The Zealots ones. I don't know. The chicks with swords. Brain farting right now. Stinky. Yeah, I would consider doing that. Or even you could take out the Battle Sanctum, Hospitaller, and something else, and then you can run, maybe put some girls in some rhinos or some combination thereof. Oh, throw in a Dogmata. The last two, and again, I'll be making a separate videos for these, detailing them more. I just felt bad that I haven't put out content for a while because I've been busy, distracted, doing other things, or felt under the weather. Ultramarines with Centurions. So my previous meme list actually had 2 Fire Raptor gunships because I actually really like the Fire Raptor gunships. But they are expensive, especially with the way I upgrade them with the quad heavy bolters and the double twin las cannons. Each one's 420 blaze it for points. So if your opponent shoots both of them off, that's almost half your points. Now, of course, you can get to your opponent's backline and destroy shit turn 1, which is amazing. But, if they roll lucky and they have just, 2 uh, hammerheads, they can either kill 1 Fire Raptor or just injure both. That's just insane. Um, Hell, my towel list, let me load in real quick. Oh, I was thinking of the other one. Does this still have... This is not what I run. There's gotta be... Didn't I have a... I was sworn I changed my towel list. Well, if you have, like, long strike and 3 hammerheads, then you could just turn 1 kill both of these. It's like, alright, good game. Ironically, the towel list still is okay against Armor of Contempt. Because... Let me just check this real quick. Unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, it doesn't have any AP anyway, but your opponent can't get light cover. So it doesn't matter about the reduction. They're still only going to save on a 3-up instead of a 2. Volume of fire. Insanity. The Centurions, again, Yellow Scribe is wrong. They have 2 las cannons each, and they're T5 with 4 wounds. Save on 2-ups with Armor of Contempt now as well. Oh, oh. So good. And then if you have the Sergeant still, your opponent does not get the benefit of cover. So those las cannons, they're going to go down to Armor of Contempt -2. But your opponent is going to have, for regular Space Marines, go from 5s to 3s to 5s. So Centurions, I think, have made a comeback. And it still has the meme, basically, where it's got Victrix Honor Guard and Apothecary to keep them alive, Tigurius, Kronos, and a Tech Marine, all pumping up this Achilles with its infinite health, I guess, 14 health. And then a Chapter Champion, which I made the Warlord so I can give him some extra bonuses to try to be a character killer. So he's got the Champion Blade, Blade of Triumph, yeah. So he's got the Blade of Triumph. So he's going to be on Strength 7, AP -3 for 3 damage. And then he's still going to get an extra Champion Blade attack as well. So he's going to be... And that's not including the extra attack you get for charging and etc. And he has a bunch of other survival things. Extra attack, extra strength. So with the extra boost, he'll be Strength 8. And so hopefully that'll be a character killer. You can just run in, bash somebody. Good way to burn points. I was thinking about getting one more apothecary instead and trying to like maybe get a servitor, but I don't think that's what this list needs. I think this list needs more damage, not more survivability. If you just lose all your honor guard and apothecary like really quickly and stuff like that, then it doesn't matter. What are servitors gonna do, honestly? And then I've had a rough time with my custodes. I love how they look. Um, that fake news that a lot of people were believing. I was one of them. That Trajan, he needs to go back to Terra. It's like, why? Why? It's so ridiculous. I originally had him with 5 or 6 Aquilans and 5 or 6, I think it was 6 of the Veritor Protus, which is the bikers. The bikers are so nice, but since they made the change where they don't get OPSEC anymore, eh, it hurts. And the thing is with this list is that the way I built it, right, is these guys are deep. He's deep with them to give him a bonus. The Galatuses are going to charge up the board. And these dudes, along with Trajan, are going to be giving them buffs. So they get all reroll. They get reroll hits and wounds of 1, which means they're almost always going to be hitting and wounding. And they get a bunch of defensive bonuses. Your opponent doesn't get light cover when they shoot with their flamethrowers. So what's in your back line? If I set charges at the center or left or right path, then if I charge them down a single path in a dual lane setup, then this can be the other lane. If this is going to be in the center, even better. But then what's holding the back line? Originally, I had these guys then go back, but at times they're going to get squished, and they can provide other bonus. They can still provide their bonuses all the way up, and they have axes. The axes aren't bad. They're going to be strength 8. That's decent. It's quite good. So it felt like a waste. And so I was like, okay, what should I put in the back? I'd have pallets, graph tanks, other options, and I didn't want to make that cut of the Veritor Praetus, but the Telemon, while not as good as they used to be, they're still a force to be reckoned with for their points, for just how durable they are. They're T8 Dreadnoughts, 14 wounds, with a 2-up save. They have an invul, which actually matters to them because they don't get Armor of Contempt. So if they get hit with anything AP -2 or higher, it's going to be a 50-50 4-up. So Melta is only on a 50-50 4-up to wound, not a 3. And then they have a good chance to save. And then even if they don't save, they reduce the damage, and they still have a feel no pain. I did remove, for point reasons, one of their longer range weapons, the bolt launcher, I believe. I forget which one they come with. I think it's... Yeah, I don't bloody remember. But and just because that way their melee doesn't suck. If you don't give them the Cestus, I think this actually is, then they don't have a melee option. They just bonk with strength 8 for 2 up for 1 damage 4 times. But this is they bonk for strength 16. So anything coming at them, they're going to wound on 2s. Hit on 2s, wound on 2s. AP minus 3 for 4 damage each. They're just going to shred anything that comes at them. And they actually have an Overwatch weapon. So very nice. They will hit a couple times if something is very weak coming at them. Try to like hold an one of the objectives, steal it away with OBSEC. You might be able to blow it away. So for the amount of options they bring to the table, or the firepower your opponent has to dedicate to them, which keeps these alive, I think this is a better setup. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but yeah, these Mythic Blight Haulers, they also get Armor of Contempt because Heretic Astartes. So quite nutty. So I'll be again doing videos on these. I'm looking forward to put out this content. Um, Maybe I would like to say this upcoming Sunday, so in a couple days. Uh, it might not be till Thursday or the next one after that. Uh, Ironically, my work hired me for part time and is trying to make me work 5 or 6 days a week. Which for the people that need the hours and whatnot, awesome, good for them. I didn't apply for this as full time. I wanted part time, so I want less hours. So it's my schedule is pretty wonky right now because of several different reasons, including a coworker. But I'm looking forward to putting out this content and playing more games with some people, both I know, I don't know. If anybody has any questions, comments, complaints, compliments, etc., or requests, feel free to put them out there, and I'll get back to them when I can. Try to put out some more content. Again, with the upcoming Chaos Marines video, things will get changed. And I still have to do Blood Angels. I still have to do Salamanders. I want to do Raven Guard, White Scars. I still got to do the Night Lords, Emperor's Children, etc. I want to give them all a video, make their armies. Some of them aren't very unique, like, or are kind of ridiculous. They just are irrelevant, unfortunately. Like the wow. Brain fart. What are they called? Rogel Dorn. Rogel Dorn. Oh, that's gonna bother the crap out of me. Emperor's Fist. Yeah, and Crimson Fist, etc. And I like another video which I will do is I actually Death Watch and Black Templar. I have a Black Templar Phobos. Ignore the blue. Um, but I want to give them more love, see changes, especially with the upcoming point nerf, not point nerf, CP nerf. And so I will put that out, but just between Chaos Space Marine non-medalist armies and uh, Chaos version regular Space Marines and Chaos. There's I have to like double my armies, and it's just insanity. And that one is because it's almost like Gene Stealers, but they really don't interest me, unfortunately. Um, the one thing I thought was cool about Gene Stealers was the Pure Strain when you could have double the amount. Now, especially where you get hurt, you lose the army buff by using Tyranids. What? That makes no sense. That annoys me. Like I understand maybe from gameplay, but it's not that broken, especially with all their point nerfs and you can't even run Leviathan, match play, etc. It's just eh. Just let them run Tyranids without a huge penalty. And with the CP nerf, it's just not viable. Uh, and if you, especially if you also want to run Brood Brothers, so alas, I'll be seeing how things do. I'll probably, ironically, in my Gene Stealers, as a preview for cutting off this video, what's gonna happen is effectively like that. If I can, that'll be my Gene Stealer army. Ah, it'll be yeah, it'll be weird. A vanguard and a battalion of Brood Brothers, if possible. Oh, this is so stupid looking. but damn it if it's not terrifying. Because 3 tank commanders, they're very efficient for what they do. I'll have reroll hits and wounds of 1, and there are demolishers, las cannons, and multi-meltas, and then whatever conscripts I can bring will be keeping the patriarch safe. Ugh, this would be so stupid. Yep, that's probably a change that's going to happen as well, but alas, we gotta wait for the GW update of the chapter approved. More so the chapter approved. Once the chapter approved hits, that should also include, I believe, the Tyranid point changes included into it, along with the CP reduction, and I can go through most of these lists that I already showcased. These ones, I think they're all good. These are gonna stay how they are for the upcoming point change because I made them with that in mind. Actually, I updated them. I played one game with my errant hands with a friend, but I cheated. It was bad. I apologize because right before we started, I was like, wait a second, because I didn't meet the deep strike maximum requirement of you still need half your units not in deep. But now it's fair. Now I can do it because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm good. Yeah, if there's anything anybody wants to talk about, let me know. Otherwise, you can expect more content. It's gonna be a bit slower because I have less free time now, which is good because I'm working and I'm taking better charge of my health, or at least I'm attempting to. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Play on.